All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone had an amazing day yesterday. Hope you're having a great morning today. Welcome to another trading day. So, week number two, day number two of this week. We got a lot of exciting stuff going on here. The SPY, little interesting as it has been every single day. Today we are up quite a bit, so we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll get into the SPY weekly. We also seen some good levels on here as well. So normally we'll talk about these levels. I know a lot of you guys remember this going back to 2018. We'll get into that. We'll look at our gappers list, which again looks humongous here. And almost the same concept, right? But there's some good stuff going on here. We'll get into some of the stuff that we have here, like Roku. We'll look into that. That's interesting. It's not gapping up this morning. You got some other ones here that, again, American Airlines not gapping up today. So we'll look into that because usually that has been moving with the market. And then everything that's green is basically some of the ones that we're used to watching on a regular basis are up this morning with the SPY. And I do see some, even though we're green today, I do see some of the ones that usually are gapping down when we're gapping up in here. BNTX, so you got CODX, you got mRNA. So yeah, that's a good sign. Let's see what we got going on. There's something else slightly different than what we've been seeing. We still got a very large list, so we will do the best we can to kind of fine tune some of the stuff that might be moving on its own, and we will definitely use your help in both chats to kind of get going here. So, good morning, Norm. What's going on with the SPY today? Any updates? Anything new happening?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. Yeah, so obviously we're back in this crazy whipsaw action up 2% as I speak right now. Retail sales just came out this morning. They came in worse than expected. They came in at negative 0.2%, negative 0.5%, I believe. Expected was 0.2 on the positive side. So, I mean, not surprising for March. It's worse than expected, but I don't know how recently that was people are still trying to get a handle on what's going on here. So really not that far fetched that it's getting hit like that. Later today, 9:15, we'll have industrial production and capacity utilization. And then at 10 a.m., we'll have job openings, home builders index, and business inventories. So that's what's going on this morning. We did see SPY drop a little bit and then pull back up off that retail sales number, but that's kind of what's going on. A lot of people are talking about bailouts, for lack of a better term, for industries hard hit for this, and also for individuals. So, I think in the next few days we'll have some policy. There is that House bill that got passed. It is the first of several that are expected for to support people in this time, see that they can get through it. Well, so it's kind of we're kind of in the same place we have been.
Yep. Agreed. And talking about kind of somewhat bailouts or at least supporting these companies. I remember now American Airlines popped up a little bit after, not after hours, right before the close, seemed like, with some of the stuff the president was talking about, helping these companies out that are being very effective, specifically airlines. So American Airlines had a nice pop here yesterday. United Airlines also didn't pop as much as American Airlines did, but United also in that group of possible help coming from the government to make sure these companies do not go bankrupt or have a bigger hit than what they're getting already. Obviously, it's nobody's fault. It's not their fault. It's nobody's fault. But this virus, but companies like this that have been doing significantly well or at least maintaining are pretty much being hit pretty hard here. So, and we know the government's going to do anything they can possibly to make sure that its economy bounces back as quick as possible. That's been the theme over and over again. You can see with the interest rates, things coming down, and they're trying to do things. I mean, obviously, it's not working as much as they would like it to, but they're doing the best they can to prevent this from completely collapsing here. All right, guys. So let's look at our list here. Let's start with the bottom. Let's see what's in the red today. Let's start with AU. This is it's a gold company. It's a
They use
gold.
garbage.
Yeah, so you don't want to trade this one, guys. If you want to trade gold, what's the
South
best
African gold
one?
miner.
What was that?
It's foreign too. It's South African
Yeah,
gold miner. So
there is a better one, the Nugget, and what's the other one? So there's a few that are a lot better to trade.
there's JNUG, Dust,
Yeah, Dust as well. Yeah, Dust is another good one.
NUGT.
Yep. So again, you have several ones you can trade if you want to
But
look at these kind of gold stuff. That's the one you want to focus on. All right. Let's go over to Roku. Roku is down 7.3. So what's the deal with that, Norm? That's unusual with these kind of stocks following what the SPY is
Yeah,
doing.
I got to tell you, I'm seeing like no news other than some possible block trades on it printing between 57.50 and 59 bucks a share. So I haven't seen any specific news. I can't find anything on Roku, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
So not sure exactly what is going on there.
Yeah, so again, Roku is interesting, guys. Definitely one that we will keep on our list. This thing is down quite a bit. Let's remove some of that here, make some room for what we're going to put together. Roku is one that seems to be having its own thing going here. Again, down 7.2, 353,000 shares traded. A stock that trades very well. We have traded this plenty of times in the past. Going to remove some of these levels we have here. We'll get some fresh ones in a second. Just want to show you the daily chart, guys. We have definitely been dropping, obviously, with the SPY. But aside from that, we're dropping a little bit more today when the SPY is up. And you can see we're hitting some of these key levels that we had in the past, especially this one down here going back in April. This thing hit 55 bucks. So again, we'll definitely one we want to keep an eye on. We'll see what's going on there. If anything comes up, you guys let us know. Norm will also let us know if he finds anything on that as well. Let's go over to BP. BP is it's a foreign stock, doesn't trade very well. You can see here, look how choppy it is and how gappy it is between the several days on here. So again, not a fan of this stock. For that reason, I'm not going to be watching. I think there's some other ones that we can watch that trade a lot better than this one. CUK is the Carnival stock as well, but you can trade better is CCL. So we'll look at CCL instead. This one tends to get a little bit less volume. It is down 3.6 today, but let's look at CCL. Trades a lot better. It has more volatility. It has better price action as well, which is very important. So CCL this morning has been on both sides of the fence, red and green so far. This pre-market several times actually, going back all the way to actually the open of the pre-market at 4 a.m. this morning, has been back and forth above and below the fence here a few times. So we'll see what it's doing there, flattening out a little bit. Markets are up. This one's now up by 2.1, 358,000 shares traded. So definitely worth watching. This one has been one of my favorite stocks to watch. I think they have taken a very nice hit. Another one that's a great one to watch is NLCH. Did I get that right? No, that was close, but not it. It's the other Norwegian cruise liner. Here it is, NC. There we go.
In the CLH.
There we go. NCLH. That's the one. So this one's also interesting too, guys. This has been taking a very nice hit as well. So you can watch either one of these. This one's up 7.9 today. Not as much volume as CCL. But again, you can definitely, we'll keep both of these on here. We'll watch one of them and keep a track of it. So let's go back down here. So we have gold. We're going to skip that one for now. BTI. BTI, I believe, is a foreign stock.
Yeah, British American Tobacco.
Yep. So again, BTI, we'll skip that one, guys. Foreign. CCL is right on here. We'll watch that one. BYND, it's up 2%. This morning, BYND, not great volume. Actually, we're going into the green now. We're down here going into the green. So BYND's got some volume here. Not anything too exciting. Up 1.1, 237,000 shares traded. But the pre-market's not looking all that great. So I'm going to skip right here. Actually, you know what? I want to look at Twitter and Baidu.
Before you go to the next one, Carlos, I
Yeah.
just want to let people know. So we had some requests to have a full gappers list up. My screen is being shown and Carlos. So if you're seeing nothing but SPY charts on a gappers list, go up top where you'll see my name and a little screen, and you can change that over to Carlos, and then you'll have what we're looking at, what Carlos is talking about.
Yep. So absolutely, guys, you have options there. So now let's go into, I want to look at Twitter and Baidu on the green. I want to go back up all the way to the top to actually look at the ones that are gapping up the most and with the bigger percentage and hopefully more volume. But I'm interested to see what Twitter, which is one of our stocks that we trade quite a bit here, what that looks like this morning. Looking at it now, not great pre-market activity at the moment. Twitter can trade a lot of volume. Although it's a nicey stock, it can have a great pre-market activity like it is a NASDAQ stock. It trades heavily on volumes. You can see here every day, even before this madness here in end of February, you can see that it trades big volume here on a regular basis. So today, they don't have that much volume in the pre-market at the moment. Let's look at Baidu real quick, see what's going on there. And if you guys have any news on it that will make that interesting, definitely let us know. But on here, Baidu also not doing all that great neither. So, all right, let's go back up to the top, guys. Let's start over here, BNTX. I'm going to go over probably about 6 or 7 of these, and then I'm going to throw it to you guys, see what you guys have on your end. BNTX up huge this morning, up 52%, 116,000 shares traded. So, wow. It's up nicely here. Previous day close was at 40. We're now trading at 60 $61. So again, big pop yesterday. I mean, today had a pop yesterday, big pop yesterday, big gap up, and it's sold down all the way back down to 40. And today we're getting a shock effect here, gapping up nicely, 52%. Now this is not a low flow stock. It's sitting at 50.6 million shares at the moment. But again, the ATR on this, just look at the massive change in ATR here. You want to be careful with this one. I'm gonna put it down here on our risky pile. Norm, any significant news on this company? It's a biotech company. Anything specific?
They are working with this is a German biotech. I won't be watching it simply because
Mm-hmm.
it's foreign, but they are working with Pfizer on a potential coronavirus vaccine. So that'll also speak for PFE, which is in the middle of the gappers list down there as well.
Okay, gotcha. So PFE, we'll put that one on here, PFE as well, and we'll take a look at that one in a sec. All right, CODX, guys, this is a low flow stock. I'm going to throw it down here. I'm actually going to quickly look at it. I'm probably not going to watch this one. I'm not a great low flow trader. Yes, we have traded low flows in the past, but with this type of market and volatility, these guys become even a little more dangerous. So you want to be careful here. These guys, the flow here is 15.8. They have a great pre-market activity. Their daily chart looks pretty decent for a low flow. This is not bad for a type of stock that this is and the way it trades. Already this morning, we'll at 920 is your low of your pre-market hitting 14 and almost 15 up here already this morning. So again, very active, some really good volume, 2.6 million shares traded. So if you're into this type of stock, this is one today that's very active. You can see here we're hanging on to a very nice level right now. Around this average. So that's an interesting level we have there on 13 of 40. Excuse me, 1370. If it can break out of that 14, you do have some levels that we put in here already for CODX. So that's active this morning. Look at a few more. APRN is another low float. See what we got going on there on APRN. Don't really like the activity as much on this one. If you're gonna look at a low flow stock, the one to look at is CODX. That one has been very, very active this morning. It's a higher flow too. This is 8.1. CODX is 15.8, and I've seen many of you guys take some really good trades off of that. NVAX, another one that has been very active as well. They're gapping up 16% this morning. Not a great volume, not a great active pre-market activity. For that reason, I won't even look at this one. Again, this one is not a low flow stock. It's 51 million shares flow. It is a lower price. It does move a lot, right? Just because it's not a low flow stock, it does have a very wide range. You can see here some of the movements we've seen on the daily candles. But again, overall, not a great pre-market activity this morning. Let's do a few more INO, and then we'll go over to you guys to see what you guys like. INO this morning, it is up 11.6, 608,000 shares traded. Going to remove some of these levels. It's pretty congested here with the highs and lows all in here in the previous day close. So this morning, you got a good pre-market activity on it. This is not a stock that I like to trade personally. It's not a low flow. It's 90 million shares flow, so we will keep an eye on here. We can do some levels for that, see what it looks like in a couple of minutes as well. So I know, again, a lot of these stocks that we have here with the coronavirus and everything breaking out, especially the end of last month and beginning of this month, you see a lot of companies doing this huge pop all the way up here, getting extremely toppy and then breaking down and kind of just chopping around now, waiting for what the next steps are going to be. These type of companies could be a hit or miss, right? Depending on which one of them gets some good indication. If they're a pharmaceutical company like this one, if anyone can get the good tests or some good production going, they're going to blow up. But again, they can also just chop around and not see these levels again, right? This is the overreaction. You might not see that again. So keep that in mind if you're looking to jump in on one of these. Be very, very careful. All right, so we'll do one more, and then we'll throw it to the chat. REGN. See what we have here. This is up 10%, 129,000 shares traded. The daily chart seems a little bit choppy, and the volume is not really there. You have several big days. Look how low the volume is. Only 1.8 for the most part. And aside from that, well, the activity we've been getting lately, before that, it was even less, looking at probably 500,000 shares traded on the entire day. So that's a very low volume. This is 103 million shares float. Unless there's any specific news here, I don't think this is one that's looking all that great.
Yep.
Also, look at the price.
They've got a coronavirus treatment that they're expected to be testing by mid to late summer.
Okay. All right, so
early summer, excuse me, early summer.
Early summer. So yeah, so this one again, very high price, guys. The ATR is huge on this, so just be careful with this. I won't be trading it. The volume is just too light for me down here. But again, it will be interesting to keep an eye on to see if they're able to do some tests and get positive results. This thing can blow up pretty fast, because that's what's hot right now, guys. Whoever comes up with a good process, some good some good results is going to take off for sure. All right, guys, let's see what you guys got on your end. Norm, do you have anything you want to go over before I throw it to the chats?
Roku's really the one piquing my
Mm-hmm.
interest, considering there's not really any news on it. It's down as much as it is just on a couple of block trades, so I'll have my eye on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, I Macy's being up, other than the fact that they've just been obliterated in the last couple of weeks, is a little bit interesting. That's M.
Yep. Yep.
I don't quite trust that. What else? That's what I got at the moment. I'll chime back in if I see anything in particular.
Okay, you got it, man. All right, guys. So let's keep an eye on that one as well. Let's look at the chats. What do you guys have? So we have NCLH. I have that one on here. I think that one is a good one to watch, as well as CCL. So those are pretty good. We have Roku. We have what else we have here? Why is NCLH always compared to? They're both in the same industry. They're both cruise liners, right? So they're both in the same industry. They're effective directly, especially when things got shut down between them. With for them, no
Excuse
more
me.
new bookings, people canceling their trips. It was an article. There was an article I read a couple of days ago where someone, they were debating whether to lose $2,000 because they were within that 2 week window of canceling. And it's like, yeah, you lose your $2,000. You just cancel the trip. So hopefully these companies can do the right thing and allow these people to rebook and get their money back or not lose their money. But yeah, you don't go on this boat. You don't do that during this time. So that's what they're directly affected. Again, there's no booking happening here, so these companies are gonna take a long time to rebound. That's why we usually talk about them together when we bring up these cruise lines. And there's some more. There's a Royal as well, RCL, I believe. There's some other ones you can look at, but these are really, really active. Let's look at MGM this morning, see what we got going on there. MGM, what do we have here? So this one, it is up 10.2, 228,000 shares traded. Pre-market is a little bit choppy at the moment. A lot of the volume is sitting in this one candle here, almost 164 sitting right in this candle. So again, you have a lot of volume that's been taken up here. The pre-market doesn't look all that exciting just yet, but you are getting a nice bounce here, up 10.2. I know they had a pretty big hit as well, as many of the companies have, but these guys also, because again, they're big on the casinos and all of that, so people are not going to be gathering in the casinos. This is how they make their money, right? So they're directly affected. Again, you got companies that are directly affected because of the economy overall, and then you got companies that the travel and focus on gathering of people, like the cruise liners, hotels, MGM, airlines. These guys are being affected even further than some of these other companies will be, right? Let's take a look at the YouTube chat. So we have Tesla. I have not seen Tesla in a while. Let's see what that is up to. Tesla is pretty much flat right now. Has been on both sides of the fence, red to green a few times on here. So it's kind of dancing around the previous day close at the moment. 370,000 shares traded. Tesla is interesting because again we're down to that almost that 420 level we've been talking about last year. So again, I'm not seeing anything all that exciting. The pre-market though is very active. You do have some good value. You do have a nice range on Tesla, so worth watching here. It's coming down to a price range that makes somewhat a little bit more sense per se. So we can definitely keep an eye on that one. XOM this morning. Let's take a look at that. Exxon Mobil. So right now, again, very active as well. It is pretty much flat right now, sitting on the previous day close. So I'm not seeing a huge gap up or gap down on this one. It's got a decent pre-market activity because this stock doesn't move well at all, and it's got some great volume. It is a nicey stock, and usually these nicey stocks do not have a great pre-market activity, and they don't have a lot of volume early on, but obviously we know that they're being affected with everything else going on. This morning, I'm not seeing anything all that great. It looks like it's getting somewhat of support here. Had a nice bounce yesterday of this previous day close, so it could be a good one to watch, but me personally, I'm not going to watch this one. It's pretty flat at the moment right now. Let's look at mRNA. We got mRNA this morning. See what's going on there. So mRNA right now, it is gapping up 10.4. How did it do yesterday? I didn't watch this yesterday. Let's look at the charts. All right, so we had a pop early on in the morning, then kind of went sideways for a bit here. But mRNA at the moment is gapping up quite a bit. This stock is a little harder to trade, guys. So for that reason, I have not been watching it. It's not an easy stock to trade. So again, we got some volume here. We're going sideways a bit. If the market pops up, maybe this can help it. But it's one of those stocks that has not been easy to trade. We can look at it now, see if it gets any better. But overall, it might not make my final list. We have some levels in here already. We can go over those in a few minutes. AMD's been one on my list quite a bit. Again, it's one stock that's you're going to get the volume. You're going to get a lot of movement out of it. Look how great it traded yesterday. Look at the beautiful pop here. Took off nicely. Nice consolidation. Another great pop. And this is happening with amazing volume, which is important, right? You need to have this volume. A lot of companies that do this type of move and don't have the volume, it's very difficult to read the price action. And obviously, with anything you're doing, you have an eye on the SPY, of course, because it's affecting everything, right? So again, big drop towards the end here of the day. So a nice drop towards the close. Kind of lost everything that it gained throughout the entire day. At least more than 50% on it in the last hour or so. So it looks like. So it got toppy here. So that's interesting. Today they're great volume as we've seen every morning, 3.1. But they've been trading pretty clean, and I'm gonna love to keep these guys on here and watch what they're doing. What else we have, guys? Let's go down to Piton. These guys should be taking off. Gyms are being shut down in my area, at least. There's all gyms, all businesses are shut down besides groceries and restaurant takeout. That's it. There's nothing else open. So these guys, if people want to keep working out, and who knows how long that's going to be, these guys should be popping up. So 8.1, 8.8 this morning, 30,000, very light on the volume, only 30,000 shares traded. Not sure if there's any significant news going on here.
Well, I've heard, yeah, I think it's all coronavirus and gyms closing, but I've heard rumors on social media of people trying to order Peloton bikes and being on hold for 30 minutes because the customer service reps couldn't handle the inflow of calls right now.
Wow, that is I bet who wants to be sweating it up next to some other people you don't know, strangers, and touching bars and doing all of this, right? You don't want to be doing that. So this is a good one to watch, guys. That could be interesting. It doesn't have great volume right now, but it has potential given that information to get going here. All right, a few more here. ZM, what is ZM up to? ZM pretty much flat right now, guys. Got okay volume at the moment, but not much going on. And ZM, guys, it traded. No, I remember you were trading this stock. It traded very well. You took advantage of some very early on clean moves. Lately, look at this daily chart. We have not seen that. And the spread sometimes could be a little funky. And we talked about this plenty of times. The whipsaws you get here, I think you mentioned you need to have a strong stomach. I forgot the exact word you use. It's not for the faint of heart. So.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart because it can go against you like so fast. It trades. It's a very tough stock to trade, really.
Yeah. So again, it
had some good moves, but you've just gotta buckle in and hold on to that one if you do trade it.
Yeah. All right, we got some good ones, guys. Let's look at HTC. Hertz this morning. Not seeing any volume here at all, guys. Again, also taking a hit. Obviously, travel takes a hit. Rentals takes a hit. This one is up 3.9, pretty much probably because of the market is up a little bit, but I'm not seeing any volume here at all. How about CAR? Not much going on there. Not sure is there any specific news, but this is all due to travel being kind of halted, right? So not much going on there.
Yeah.
Let's look at MU. MU this morning. MU could be a good one to watch. Again, wow, look at yesterday. MU popped up and then just sold off right after the lunchtime here. So interesting on MU. Some nice sell-off all the way down towards this level. So again, another one that you can keep an eye on. I'm going to keep an eye on AMD. AMD just seems to be a little bit cleaner, but don't get me wrong. MU has great volume for the type of morning that it is. It's 173,000 shares traded. Usually MU doesn't get that type of volume. So they got good volume this morning. BAC. Let's look at the banking stock. So this one here is up 2% this morning. Some great volume. We're getting a lot of volume out of BAC the last couple of days, right? Given everything that's happening, a lot of stuff is spiking up on volume. But this one, it doesn't trade as clean, guys. So for that reason, I'm going to keep it off this list right now. Could get better. Again, if the SPY takes off, just pick one of the best stocks that you like to watch, that you like to trade, that has good volume, and you get a move on it, get a momentum, possible momentum play on there. All right, anything else? JD, Edwin is giving us that. Let's take a look at JD this morning. JD's gapping up here. All right, so JD, so JD's pre-market's okay, 228. It is up 5.7, so that's interesting. Has been choppy over the last couple of days, really on the daily chart. But again, it's been a stock that I keep saying it with the drop, it kind of held. So if the SPY takes off here and this thing really wants to hold and not sell off as much, this thing can go. You got some good levels on here, right? So we can take a look at it. But right now, the pre-market is pretty much sideways at the moment. All right, we got a pretty good list, guys. We're going to come back and just kind of review what we have here. If there's some more that you can find, like we talked about before, if there's anything that has its own catalyst, just put it on there, put the ticker in the actual catalyst so we can look at those specifically to see if we can find anything that might be moving aside from what's going on with the coronavirus and the overall market movement. So with that said, let's go over to announcements. We'll come back and do some support and resistance in just a few minutes.
All right, guys. So upcoming success webinars we got. Thor's level 2 class will be tomorrow night. How he uses level 2, much anticipated class, 8 p.m. in the lifetime member webinar room. The next week, 8 p.m. is Ed Martin of Average Joe Trader talking about trading after hours earnings. Very timely considering earnings will be coming out here in about 2-3 weeks after that class. And then on April Fool's Day, April 1st, 6 p.m., because he's in London, we had to do it a little bit earlier. It'll be Stephen Goldstein, world-renowned trading psychologist, author, great podcast, Alpha Mind podcast, great Twitter follow at Alpha Mind. He'll be talking about his golden trading guidelines. Also, now that we have our own in-house psychologist, Dr. Jonathan Katz, we will have twice a month Q&A sessions with him. The first one of that series is going to be on March 24th, 8 p.m. in the Lifetime webinar room. And you can look in the forums to post questions for him to be answered through then. So we'll do that in the same format we do the Lifetime mentorship sessions, where forum or questions are posted in advance in the forums, and then they can go through and answer them. If any time's left in that, then he'll go through and take questions from the room. Then right now also we have our March promo going on. You can get 40% off the lifetime membership, the single payment option, 40% off. Use the promo code St. Patrick's straight up at checkout, whether you want to do that with or without the 3 months of DAS Simulator included. Also, we've got the 1-week trial. If you're watching us on YouTube and haven't been in the room, you can try us out at the discount. Use the promo code PREMARKET24 when you sign up for the intro membership for a week. Does not auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership. There you go. Oh, yes, Brandon. So Brandon, one of our members, and as everybody here knows, one of Andrew's favorite pastimes is climbing pointy things, as he puts it. So Brandon, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, summited this mountain in Bolivia at almost 20,000 feet. So Andrew said that was a hell of a tough climb. I'll take his word for it. I won't be trying it myself. Anyway, congratulations to Brandon. Awesome picture.
Yep.
Yeah, up close. That looks very cold. Anyway, take care, guys. Congratulations, Brandon.
It looks very, very cold. I mean, it's so amazing. It looks photoshopped. That's how great that view is. So congrats. Yeah. All right, guys, so let's get to it. Let's get to this list over here. I saw you guys threw some more tickers on here. INO, VXX, KO. We'll look at those in a second. But let's get through this list. Actually, no, we'll throw them on here so we don't forget about them. So let's look at INO. We'll look at VIX, which probably won't trade directly, but we can talk about it. And we look at KO. So let's throw those on there. As we go through and we get to those, we'll take a look at that towards the end. And then we have looked at JD already. Just check it, our chats here. Yep, we have everything we need. Okay, let's start over with Roku, guys. I like Roku this morning because, again, it is down and not up, has great volume. So, again, something's up with it. If somebody knows any news on it, please throw this out and we can take a look at it. So at the moment, we have a nice level down here. Our low of our pre-market is sitting around 58.01. So let's mark that down. We got several bounces. It's funny, we had several bounces yesterday after hours around that level, and we have several bounces this morning already around that level. So again, significant level at 58. Let's go over to the left here and see what we have going on that might be so important at that level. So back in April, May timeframe of 2018, we do have several days opening and closing around that 58 level right on there. So that could be significant. But below that, we do have some great pops, some great supports as well. That took, you got several pops off that 55, 15, and then we cannot. I know these levels are very close, but we cannot not have this one here. We cannot miss out on this level. This is a very important level, 55.92, and the reason for that is because you got 1, 2, 3, 4 days bouncing off of that, and then this one here also opening around that area, 55.96. So we got to definitely keep an eye on that. All right, getting back towards the action now. Towards the top, you have your previous day close towards the top there, very close to your high of the pre-market at the moment. You can mark your high of the pre-market as well. Keep it on there at 65.80, so that's a good level to have. And then above that, you really have a nice gap all the way up to the open. To the open of yesterday, which is also the low of 2 days ago. So you got plenty of levels on here within this area. You got a nice big gap there. I would like to find a good level in between there. Obviously 70, you want to watch out for that whole dollar number. Stocks tend to lose momentum or do a nice little change in direction around these whole dollars. But if we go back over here, we do have a nice level right on here around very close to 70, 68.72. Several days you have several days as of support, you have resistance, and then when we gapped up above that 68.72, not sure what the pre-market action looked like in here. I'm not sure if we touched on that several times, but you can see a nice beautiful pop here going all the way up to 82.50. So we have some pretty good levels on Roku, guys. Again, right now down 5.7. It's got some good volume. It's got a good pre-market activity as well. I know the levels look a little bit congested here, but I think these are all very important levels that you should have on your charts at the moment. So let's go over to CCL Carnival and see what's going on there. These guys are just kind of flirting with the previous day close line, been above and below it several times this morning. They're up 3.3, 455,000 shares traded at the moment. Again, these guys have been taking a very nice hit given everything that's happening with obviously the coronavirus. So this morning high of our pre-market sitting at 1597. So we were as high as 1597 right over here. And then we've been dropping since then, going all the way towards the red this morning down here, and then kind of flirting around with the previous day close. But I do like this level we have over here as well, this 1520. The reason for that is after we had the bounce off the previous day close or became above it, we have been testing this 1518 twice this morning. So we'll see if we're able to break above that, or if we're going to struggle around that level. Now, towards the top, you have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You got you covered there around that $18 mark. Just going to look at our weekly. Actually, let's go monthly on this one because it's been a while since we haven't been down here. Look at the levels we have here. Here's our IPO price going way. Oh, no, that's not IPO. Oh, actually, no, it is right over here, all the way down at 1182. But you do have a great level slightly. Yeah, we're right on it. Previous day close looks like a lot of our levels price action right on this date right over here. So again, I think you're pretty much covered towards the bottom. You have your low, your IPO low of all time down here at 1882 is good to have. If you zoom in here, it's funny, we have not been down in this area ever since this thing IPO'd back in 96. These are some very, very old levels, but just for the heck of it, let's mark down this level right on here. When it IPO'd, again, it bounced a few times of this 1333. Again, this thing IPO'd at that time, you don't have a lot of levels, so these technicals don't mean as much as it does when it starts building a pattern and some flow and some value of the company. So again, don't put too much weight on it, but you do have something in case somebody else, retail traders or institutions, are looking at that level because they have nothing else. That level could become something, right? So just keep that on there just to have some kind of area where you can aim for profit targets and so forth. Your low of your pre-market is slightly above that at 1410, so you might want to mark that down. You have that there as well. We have bounced twice off of that this morning. The second drop, we didn't quite get to it. We kind of took off from there, and now we're messing around with this 1518. We'll see what it does there. NCLH this morning is another one. I'm not going to watch both CCL and NCLH. They're both cruise liners, but you can see this one actually is already below their IPO price. So if you go back over here, they have huge drop here. These guys are trading at 50, obviously down at 12. So their hit has been, seems like a lot more, but again, they're both been down quite a bit. So just to do some levels in case you're going to watch this one, let's look at the daily here at 4 on our hotkeys. We have here our high of our pre-market sitting at 1260. It's funny, they both popped up, seems like this morning at 4. They both had a nice pop and then kind of gave it back a little bit, are kind of bouncing back. So very similar price action in the pre-market. CCL just has a better pre-market activity with a lot more volume, 467 opposed to 183. So for that reason, I'm going to watch CCL instead. If they can get above the highs and lows, got you covered towards the top. If you want to break out of that, the beautiful level here at 1720 is going to need a lot to be able to get any kind of strength to get up to that level. So we'll see what happens there. And then you got a great support happening here around 10 bucks. We the last 3 days, 1, 2, 3 here, we have been kind of leveling off here and supporting that spot, not dropping below that. So that could be a good area where this stock might not want to go any more further from. So let's keep an eye on that as well. It's marked there by your highs and lows. Going to INO, this one here, guys, very active pre-market activity. I'm not a fan of this type of stock, so I'm not going to be watching it, but let's do some levels for it. Our high of our pre-market sitting at 710. I do like this level in the pre-market because around 798, $7, because it's been tested several times here. So I want to have that on there. You can see several times it's been tested here. Also post hours, after hours yesterday, you can see here it kind of getting close to that level. So you might want to have that on there, especially in this type of stock where small movements, you should take profits, right? This stock is trading at $6.82. If you're getting 20, 15 cents out of this stock, you want to take profits and not overstay your welcome, right? Don't get aggressive, don't get too greedy. Another level in between here around 760 is good to have. Above that, you have your highs from the last 2 trading days. And then above that, you have got a very clean level up here at 1005. And another one very clean at 1182. Again, this has the potential to get going. It has been holding this previous day close line. If you look at that on there, we broke out of that, had a great pop, sold right back down to this level, held, came back up, sold right back down to this level yesterday, held as well, and now we're up again this morning. So we'll have to see how this is going to continue. Again, good pre-market activity, some great action. So we'll keep that one on there. I'm not going to personally watch it, but you do have some levels in here for this already. Here is Tesla, guys. Tesla is getting interesting. It's dropping below the previous day close, although the markets are slightly up a little bit. Tesla is down 1.3. Again, even after popping up after hours, or is that the pre-market this morning? Yep, pre-market this morning went up all the way up to 482. Has not been able to hold. And look at the drop here, the entire pre-market, right? Kind of bounced off the previous day close, back to it, couldn't hold here, breaking down, now retested that support, and we're dropping again here. So again, very active, nice range on Tesla this morning. I'm shocked that they're not up, as the SPY is up today. So their low of the pre-market at 436, we'll mark that down. Their high all the way at 482. Between there, above the low of the pre-market, you have your previous day close. I do like this level down here in the pre-market as well, going down to 430. So we'll mark that down. And then down here, guys, you got plenty of support. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here. Down in this area, this is around that 420 level that we had before when this thing was trading around 200, 300 bucks, and 420 was like the number to get to. It's got there, so now we're kind of sitting slightly above that. Are we going to hold? Are we going to break down? Below that, you have a very strong, probably one of the strongest levels on the daily chart. It's a 200 moving average over at 370. So I think that's a good number to have. You also want to have that 400 number. You can see on there when we broke out of that, went nicely to that 420, came back down to 400, and then the takeoff. So you got plenty of levels on Tesla here, but I do like the way this pre-market activity is looking like at the moment. We'll see what it does in a few minutes as we get closer to that 9:30 Eastern time. Here's mRNA, guys. We have levels that actually got you covered already. The highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, previous day close. You got your 30.73 here. You got your 32.51, and you got your 35.97. So again, plenty of levels in here already for mRNA. The price action, you can actually put a level right at the price action, because what I'm seeing here, you have several days that have opened and closed around this $30 mark. So you can throw that on there. You see the rejection happening here. This day went all the way to 37.73 and then came back down close around 30. Rejection here happening as well. Gaps up slightly around that 30, and then the huge sell-off. So that could be a good level for you to have on this stock. Again, not personally going to watch it, but you got some good levels on here. It's got great volume, but it just seems so choppy at the moment. Just be cautious with this one and the moves that it makes. Here's AMD, guys. So AMD, great volume, 960, up 3.8 this morning. Going to remove some of the levels we have. Our highs and lows got to cover pretty good, but you can add this level right here on 41.42. That's a great level of support that we had a couple of days ago. and then your high of your pre-markets was tested twice within this consolidation we've been having here. It's just kind of moving sideways, right? So it looks like we stopped going down on AMD a little bit here. We don't have a site. So this is kind of the difference that we're seeing. This is why we kind of look at these other stocks are directly affected by the virus and travel. If you look at travel companies, airlines, or anything affected with travel, the drop is very significant, right? Because it's going to take some time for them to come back. Now, if you look at AMD, yes, you do have a drop, but look at the pullbacks. Anytime there's a sign of strength on the SPY, it pulls back nicely, and it's not, you don't have that huge drop or that cliff drop as you have on these other stocks. So again, kind of going sideways a little bit here. They're up slightly, obviously, with the markets being up quite a bit. You have some really good levels already on here, and then below the previous day close, you have your most important level on the daily, which is your 200 moving average at around 37. 63. Piton this morning, I like, guys. Again, I have a lot on here, but we're going to go through this and fine tune it. Piton, I like, based on the information we're getting. People, again, looking to not go to these gyms, and you have a lot of gym goers that love to work out. They love to be around people and you know, get on these cycling classes. They're not doing that now for sure. They might be looking for an alternative, and this is it right here. So 24.38, you have a nice level here of support and resistance over a couple of days. 26, great level of support, guys. Look at this, several days bouncing off that 26 level right on this. So definitely keep that in your charts. If this thing can get going based on the news and what's happening there with them, you have 28. 86 could be a great area to get into. Look out for 27 and 28 as well, and you have some moving averages in that area also. Towards the bottom, you're basically covered, guys. A lot of support down here, clean levels of your highs and lows in your previous day on there as well. Here's JD. We got some levels for it. Let's remove it and kind of get a clean sheet here. Your high of your pre-market sitting at 37.92. Then now towards the top, your highs and lows got you pretty much covered, guys. You got plenty of levels on here. You got some moving averages around 40. You do want to mark this down because around 40, you can see also if you draw a line right on there, you're going to have several days bouncing off of that 40 also. So you got support and resistance on both sides around that 40 line, so keep an eye on that. And then your high from 2 days ago all the way up here is a great area to get into if we're going to be strong on JD. Now, JD is a stock that hasn't sold off as much as we've seen other stocks sell off, so that's kind of interesting. We do have another level here on 36, changing direction. Nice support here before the takeoff. And then your previous day close towards the bottom. So that's JD. Pre-market's a little choppy right now, guys. 248. It has volume, but the pre-market's not as clean as we've seen some of these other stocks are trading, like a Tesla. Tesla has a beautiful pre-market activity. CCL has a beautiful pre-market activity. Roku has a great pre-market activity. So again, not the best one in that sense. But overall, interesting on their daily chart, the way they're looking right now. INO, guys, this one we have not looked at, but someone mentioned. So right now, I don't like the pre-market activity. And actually, this volume is not a lot for INO because this stock is usually trades very heavy on volume. You can see here 100 million shares easily on any given day with this type of ticker. So I'm not liking what I'm seeing out of it today. I think this is too light of a volume for this type of stock and the way it trades. So for that, I'm just going to take it off this morning off this list. Here's the volatility index, guys. Again, up nicely. We're usually trading below 30 bucks here, all the way down here. 30 bucks is actually extremely high. We're well above that. We're at 57. What's TVIX doing today? Should be gapping down a little bit this morning. 6.4, sitting at 553. Who would have thought? Never seen anything like that. But again, these are stocks you want to be very careful with, guys, if you're going to be trading these. Again, they're volatile. They're leveraged times 3, I believe. I always forget if it's 3 or 4 on this one. I'm not sure what the number is, but again, just be cautious with these type of stocks. Again, look at the price as well.
TVIX is 2 times leverage.
2 times, yeah. Thank you. So again, just be aware of that and be cautious. So I'm not going to be watching this one here. I'm going to take that one off for right now. And then let's look at KO. So KO doesn't have great volume at the moment. Has a nice had a nice pop up yesterday. So gap down huge, came back all the way up to 48, gave some back towards the end, but there's not a lot of volume going on here at all. So again, and it's pretty much flat right now. It looks like it might be starting to get going. It is a nicey stock, so volume is not great at the pre-market, but this is bad volume. This is worse than what you would like to see on this type of stock. So one that could be a possible. Again, KO always has some news behind it. Not sure what the news is today, but again, just be careful. There's really no volume at the moment here. So for that reason, I'm gonna take that one off. quickly, I'm going to look at the CODX, guys. You have a lot of levels on this already. Just going to add this high of the pre-market on here if you want to watch that. 1726, you guys should cover 1966, and all the way up here 2164 towards the bottom. You have a lot of support, but I like this level right on here towards the bottom, guys. Look at this 1133, plenty of support there in a lot of days. So mark that down, and you should keep that level on there to see how this thing is going to play out. Beautiful pre-market activity, some great volume, up 41%. But again, this is a low flow stock sitting at 15.8, so be very, very careful. Manage your risk accordingly. BNTX this morning is another one that's it's a biotech company that's popping out. I'm not going to be watching this one. You got your highs and lows on there already. Your high of your pre-market, we have 70.26. But again, not one that I'm going to keep on my list, guys. It's these type of companies. Look at the volume. It's very, very light. It's not a low flow stock. It's 50.6 million shares. But again, the movements are just wild. I'm not going to be watching that. PFE is another one that Norm mentioned as well that falls in that same category. But same here. I'm not going to be watching this one either for right now. So that is what we have, guys. Anything else that you guys like on your end? Norm, anything that you might have picked up that you want to keep an eye on? I know you like Roku. Any other ones on your list?
Yeah, I'm gonna be watching. Well, I don't know. Did you go over Boeing? I'll watch Boeing today. Nvidia,
Yeah.
Macy's, Roku. Roku looks interesting because of that sell. It's popped since then, but somebody's getting out 6 million shares of Roku. They know something's up, so I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I gotta say, Roku's on top of my list, man. It's definitely one of the favorites. This is a lot of volume coming in here. It's just weird the way that's setting up. So, going back to BA this morning, VA at the moment. Hold on, let's get it set up here. Here we go, VA. All right, so again, we got some volume on here, up 3.5. It could be interesting. I'm not really a fan of this stock, guys, at all. But you have some really good levels already. You have your highs and lows already set up for you. 139 could be your high right on there. And then your highs and lows from the last two trading days got you covered here. So again, we're getting a bounce off this previous day close. We tested it already in this pre-market activity, and we are chopping around sideways here with some good volume. So it could be interesting. This is a stock that we know eventually is going to bounce back. This is a big company. It's not going to stay down here. But again, very important, guys. During this time, do not try to time the bottom. People who try to do that, this is it. No, they just go all in. And they find themselves in a bad situation. What I've seen some people do that this could be a good idea. Again, not suggesting you do that. If you want to get into a position for longer term, you can start getting a little bit in now, maybe a fourth for your position, then another fourth as it drops down, and just kind of build into it so you're not putting all your eggs in one basket and find yourself in a tough situation in the red, because things can drop more from here. Just when you think we're done, it might not be done, right? We don't know what's next, so just play everything with caution. Guys, take care. Thank you for joining us in the pre-market show over on YouTube. We're going to go into our chats now, kind of prepare, fine-tune this list, get ready for the open in another couple of minutes. Andrew will come on. Moderators, we posting their chats. Mike Speed got our message today. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while trading. Trust your trade plan. Your time will come. Work hard, and eventually the results will come. Perfect. And tonight, do we have cats tonight, or is that next week?
That's next week.
That's next week. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but tomorrow we've got the success webinar with Thor's level 2.
Yes. And then at the end of the month, me and you are doing the lifetime webinar. That is Thursday. So I got.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. Well, now you know.
Okay. All right.
You know what it is? I think me and you scheduled it so long ago that we probably forgot about it. But that's what happened.
True. That's fine. I can't go anywhere. So why the hell does it matter?
You're stuck, man.
So,
hey, you got something better to do?
I want to shout out, first of all, to my friend Jimmy over in YouTube who found us. Not sure how he found us. He'll have to shoot me an email. I used to work with Jimmy in my previous life. So shout out to Jimmy. Hope you're doing well, bud. Number 2 is, some people have mentioned it yesterday. I haven't seen it this morning, but I'm looking a little scruffy here, man. I've got this patchy beard thing that probably isn't too well inspired by the touch of Mexican heritage or whatever I have in my family. I don't know. So it's got like the German red and patchy. It's awful. So I'm not shaving this until the VIX gets below 20 at some point.
There we go. We just blew you up a little bit just so we can get a closer look.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Listen,
I look
man,
like shit.
I am in the same boat. I haven't gotten a haircut in a very long time, and I don't plan to. I do not plan to. Not the way. The last thing I want to do is have someone that's been touching other people touching my face, even if they're using gloves. I don't care. It's just not gonna happen. So We'll see what takes place there. Take care, guys. Trade safe. We'll see you tomorrow again, 8:30 Eastern time. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you follow us and hit that bell so you can get notified when we go live again. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Morning, guys.
Hey, good morning. How
Hey,
you doing?
good morning, Brian.
Jeez, I thought I was looking rough. I think I look pretty good. Good thing I got a haircut just before this all happened.
Ah, so you did it right. You did it right, man.